And we're back. And we've got Dom Langdon, Dr. Dom, I think is his name now, as he's popping in. Not quite Dr. Dom, but Dom, welcome to Poppies TV once again. A disappointing performance that really makes it impossible now for us to get into those playoff positions. It was a disappointing first half. 2 goals in 2 minutes, 12 and 14 minutes, that made it very difficult. One back from Rennie, but not to be.
Yeah, not to be. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a bit of it's been the story of our season, I think, to be honest with you. We've had moments in games where we've done really well, and sometimes it's been the case of actually conceding before we've actually got that sort of impetus to then go back and forth and try and get a goal back, which is what you've clearly seen from today. Again, similar sort of story against Merthyr, did exactly the same sort of thing. Went down, sort of got a goal, and then again we're trying to have to chase ourselves really. It was just a shame.
It's the home form that's really destroyed Kettering's season, hasn't it? I mean, when you consider the away form, how good that is, especially after that rare win at Dunstable on Tuesday, where we fought and we did very, very well in that game. Today, 2 goals, as I say, in 2 minutes, sort of hitters, and we couldn't really recover from that. And even though Rennie got one back in the second half, it was made almost impossible, I suppose, when Paul was sent off for a reckless challenge, and difficult.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we were sort of trying to chase the game, and like you say, the conditions on Tuesday were no different from today, to be honest with you. I don't know, it just must be something here, really.
What is it about Latimer Park, you think?
I'm not too sure. I don't know. It must be the teams, I think, to be honest with you. I think if you go back with the trend in terms of the games we played, different sort of opposition from top of the league to sort of bottom, it appears that they sort of set up just to sort of defend because they know what the sort of conditions are going to be. But again, in terms of the quality that we have in the team, we should be capitalising on that and trying to make the best of the chances we have, but unfortunately we're not been able to do that.
I mean, the pitch actually this season, I mean, we've had no games cancelled through waterlogged pitches. The only one that was cancelled was through fog. We're not playing catch up, so you're not playing 2 or 3 games in a week, where season before we were doing that, the season before that we were doing that, even the season before that we were doing that. So there's no real pressure really to play catch up this season. It just seems that the home form has been disastrous, and it's cost us, I suppose now we can say that we're not going to get in those playoff positions, are we?
No, I think so. I think if you look at last season, we went on a sort of a really good run in periods for a lot of it, and we were going to teams who was being able to turn up as such and being able to take wins, but we've not been able to sort of carry on that form from the start of the season, and if you look at the start of the season, it's probably not helped us either. So we made it difficult ourselves, and we've only got ourselves to blame. Again, it's the players that are putting on the shirt at the end of the day. The manager can only do so much in terms of give the tactics, give obviously the boys here, responsibility to go out there and try and perform, and again we fell sort of short, and that's a little bit in terms of the story of the season. How
is the pressure on Marcus and John? How do the players sort of encompass that?
So it's interesting really. Again, because we've only just lost this one game. We've been on a relatively good run, to be honest with you.
It's been 5 wins in 6, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's a good run.
So, like in-house, we've obviously set targets for ourselves to try and achieve that goal of trying to make the playoffs. And again, if results do go our way in terms of what happened on Tuesday night, we've had a sort of a good result on our behalf by getting a late winner from Rennie, and then, like I say, results gone on our favour. So we're going into the game today, we was confident and upbeat for the fact that we could probably, to get a result really. Chesham are obviously a good team, but in terms of who we played against this season, especially with chipping away, we ran out losers, and again we should have probably got something from that game. But hey, it's one of those, isn't it? It's the story of our season so far.
It is the story of our season so far, and they call you Dr. Dom apparently. What's all that about then? I mean, I know that you are a sports therapist. We can't say physio anymore. Why is that then? Why can't we say physio?
Physio, because professionally that's what I've done in terms of what my route was through university. I went through a sports therapy route. I didn't go through a physio route, so I can't class myself as a physio.
Are there physios still in football then, or is it all sports?
There is, there is physios, especially when you go into the Premier League Championship. That's what they have to look for, physios. Sports therapists are starting to get in there, but it's basically an ilk of this physio side, if that makes sense. So,
and our own sports therapist is one of your students.
Thiago Canto. So he's at Malta at the moment, completing his degree in sports therapy through University of Northampton as well. So he's coming to the final part of his year, and he's just getting some experience. Obviously on the back end of a season which has been a bit turbulent to say the least. He's been getting some good experience, I have to say. So.
Because you had the sponge in your hand at one point, didn't you, earlier this season when you were injured?
I did. Mulligan, I was expecting a quiet night to be, or quite even, should I say, straight afternoon, and he decided to split his nose, which was great. So yeah, I stood in for a game.
Okay, Dom, thank you for joining us. Disappointing result today. We've got a long trip to Weymouth next week, where we've got to try and kick on from here and rebuild for next season. It must be difficult for all the players, etc. But you've given 100%, and that's all we can ask for. And it's unfortunate, but there we go. Thanks for coming over, and we'll speak to you again. Thank you, Dom. Dom Langdon, who's another exceptional game from the man, and we'll let Dom nip off now for a well-deserved shower. Right, well, I think we may have John Ramshaw, our assistant manager, with us. Yeah, he's over here. He's got a cup of tea in his hand, which he's just dropped on the floor, and he's popping over to have a few words with us. Welcome, John, to Poppies TV once again.
Hi.
Disappointing result this afternoon, really, that makes it virtually impossible for us now, I would think, to get into those playoff places. 2 goals in 2 minutes killed us in that first half, and a few difficult decisions from the referee that might have gone against us, but overall not what we expected after Tuesday night.
Disappointing, yes. Impossible, no. We won't give up. We won't concede that the season's over yet. But disappointing, certainly. And
where did it go wrong, do you think, for the Poppy? After that spirited performance on Tuesday night, where we had a real battle on our hands, it was a similar sort of game today. We conceded 2 goals in 2 minutes and got back into that game, and a good penalty save that must have buoyed the lads up. But what went wrong in your opinion?
Two schoolboy goals again.
That was the same as Tuesday night, wasn't it? I mean, we gave away again 2 stupid
we gave
goals.
Away 2 very silly goals on Tuesday night. We had 2 schoolboy goals again today, and as I've just been saying to the press, that basically that has been the pattern of our season. There's no way I'm gonna come in here and try and disguise things or tell lies. And I've said it to the players after the game. The reason we are 7th or 8th and not 1st or 2nd is because we've conceded stupid goals all season. Wipe them out, and we'd be running away with the league now.
It's the home form, really, John, that's destroyed us. I mean, we were saying post-match or pre-match even that the last 4 seasons, every season so far, we've got off to a very, very poor start, and it happened this season. We didn't win our first game till October the 22nd at home, which puts pressure on the team, doesn't it? And the away form's been exceptional, really, when you consider the other teams. But the home form's been a disaster.
The home form, has been a disappointment.
Why is that? What? I mean, we had Graham Coles on earlier, who is our groundsman, and I was saying to Graham that we've not had many matches postponed at all this season. Last season it was like the Somme out there, we had like Skeg Beach out there, we had donkeys feeding on it. This season they've done exceptionally well with the pitch. Okay, there's a few bobbles on there, etc. But what in your opinion do you think is the reason why we haven't actually performed at home?
I think, and I don't want to sort of criticise anybody unduly, and I understand that the pitch improvements are a work in progress, and the groundsman's got a very difficult job to do, but it's a very difficult playing surface, I think, is the best way of putting it. And I think a lot of visitors who come here make the same comment, and we've built a team, a footballing side. And we can't get the ball down and play football on it because it is so difficult. You watch the majority of matches. You've seen us play away from home, and I think the way we keep the ball, the way we pass the ball away from home is a lot better than we do at home. And it's got to be down to one thing, and that's the playing surface.
Marcus said in previous matches that set pieces have been our sort of forte, where we've capitalised on a lot of goals from that. Today was pretty atrocious with the set pieces. We couldn't beat the first man, and
exactly.
Positions where we got back to 2-1 and where we've had the corners, etc., and the free kicks just haven't delivered, which must have been painful to watch.
And that's the key word, isn't it? The key word is delivery. We work on set pieces, and everybody has a job to do, and I think for everybody to be able to do their job, it will depend on the delivery, and when we get the delivery right, we score goals from it. today the delivery was poor, very poor. And as you say, I would think on 95% of the occasions today we failed to beat the first man. If you do that, then it's an uphill task to score goals from set pieces, isn't it? So
Paul White sent off. He's been in good form for us recently. Puts us now in a dilemma. Do you bring in a goalkeeper, or do you use Jamie McAlinden, who's not played a first-class game for over a season now? It must make it difficult to decide what to do there.
Yes, it's a hard one. I think Paul took one for the team. You know, he probably in retrospect, he would probably think, well, maybe he's conceding the goal, or potentially conceding the goal, might have been less damaging than losing him for what could be 3 games, what could be 1 game. I mean, it'll depend very much on the referee's report.
Was he last man? I mean,
well, I mean that's a.
Can we see that, Ryan? The penalty on there. Can you bring that one up? Just have a quick butchers at that. Let's have a Paul White penalty. Have you got the lead up? It'll be in the highlights passage. He's give us the finger, but not the one that you're thinking of. But
I think Paul was a little bit unfortunate at that stage in the game. I think if the referee had used any common sense, it would have been a yellow. Perhaps.
Penalty decisions. We've had a couple, haven't we, that could have gone for us. We saw one at half time where O'Connor was, I think, brought down. The referee waved it on, and it was blatant in our opinion. Those things do happen, obviously, which they do. We've witnessed it, but it's going to be difficult for us now to march on. There's a long trip to Weymouth on Saturday, and then the league
very much so.
Against Leamington, if we can get their floodlights working.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see whether the floodlights stay on or go off, depending on what the score is. But I mean, I would think today there have been 5 occasions where the entire crowd behind the goal have gone up.
There's the penalty decision there where the referee gave it to them. Canavan there colliding with the player. To me, that doesn't look like a penalty. It's a soft penalty if it is, when you consider the one where Brighton was.
The lad missed kicks. Look, he missed kicks.
He falls down before Canavan even touches him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So there we are again. Look, Canavan doesn't.
I think the proof of the pudding is when their bench turns to us on our penalty appeal and say, if he's given ours, he's got to give that one.
Have we got that one right? Have we got our penalty appeal there on O'Connor towards the end? Sorry if you're listening to this at home. I have to do my directions through the glass window because we haven't got the intercom now like we used to have. But there we go. There's Brighton, look, being manhandled down. And as you say,
can we just see that again?
Can we put that one on again, Ryan, please? Just give John another look at that. Here we go. The ball's gone away, hasn't it?
Yeah, the ball's gone away, but there's contact and it's in the box. The ball.
Not a lot of difference, is there? Really? I mean, the Canavan, challenged their player once the ball had gone away, and the referee gave a penalty. Here's Brighton, who's brought down when he could have probably ran onto the ball, and the referee ignores it.
Well, James is very quick, as we know, and again, there's definite contact there. To me, that's a penalty. Or it's not a penalty if theirs isn't a penalty. But I think both are very similar, aren't they? The boy had let the ball go through his legs and was turning when there was contact. So would he have got to it? There's question marks about them both, I would say. But I think their bench have called it correctly. If he gives theirs, he's got to give that one.
Well, you might not want to see these. We're going to show you the 2 goals. We'll show you our goal as well. Here's goal 1 in the 12th minute, a near side goal. Should the goalkeeper have done better with this?
I think we should have defended it better. If you look, the boy just gets across the front of Canavan there and flicks it into the near post. Probably difficult. There should have been a man on the post, but he got pulled off for the potential short corner. And I don't think we got our shape back there. The boy gets across the front of Canavan. Bateman's not on the post where he should have been. And it's a goal. It's a sloppy goal. It's a sloppy goal. There's no 2 ways about it.
Then 2 minutes later, they made it a very difficult game for the Poppies indeed, with this goal from Sam Youngs on 14 minutes. A lot of space given to him here. Unmarked and flicked
unmarked again. We hadn't track runners. You know, how many times have I come in here, or has Marcus come in here and said that we didn't track runners and we've conceded a goal? Again, a sloppy goal, an unprofessional goal, I think is the best way of describing it, you know. I mean, they've switched the ball from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. It's taken them 4 passes to do it, 5 passes, 6 passes into the box, and we've stood still. But apparently somebody's playing them on side, according to the linesman. So, you know, half the team have stopped for an offside decision, and then we've got cooked.
But you should always play to the whistle, shouldn't you? That is the cliche. When I was a school kid, etc., you play to the whistle, not to what you're thinking. But then it could have got worse. We had the penalty save, a good save from Paul White,
excellent save,
and the impetus seemed to be with us after that. After that penalty save, Paul was very up for it. As I say, it was that's never a penalty.
No.
But there we are. The referee gave it had an appalling game, in my opinion. But that's only my opinion, not the opinion of the club. They can blame me if they want to. But Paul White made a very good save to keep the Poppies into that game, and then Rennie Howe got a goal back for the home side in that second half, and gave us that little bit of inspiration. A well taken goal from Rennie.
Excellent. Yes, I mean, you know, it's good. It's Rennie's on fire at the moment as far as goals go, and he's a handful. The minute he gets inside that box, because of his physical presence, he's a handful, and he's, as we've said before, technically he's excellent. And a good goal. If you watch the way he turns out to find himself some space, and then bang, superb striker's goal. But you know, I was just about to say earlier on, I think 4 or 5 times the entire crowd behind the goal have gone up appealing for handball.
Yes. And
the referee's he's waved every appeal away. You know, I've got to be careful what I say because I can get into trouble, but I wouldn't really argue with your analysis of his performance today, if I was going to be honest.
Well, thank you, John, for that. But the question is where do we go from here? I know we've got Weymouth obviously on Saturday. We've got to go there and try and win and keep winning as much as we can. But trying to win the last 13 games of the season is going to be a very difficult proposition anyway, isn't it, to keep us into that playoff position? And okay, we've lost 1 game. We've got another 10 to go. Mm-hmm. You know, if we win them, that's 30 points. You know, we're not going to quite get the 81 points we needed from last season, but we've got to carry on.
Well, yes, you've got to keep going. You know, I mean, you know, we won't give in, we won't stop fighting, we won't stop believing until we can no longer believe, until it becomes a mathematical impossibility for us to reach the playoffs, and we won't stop believing we can do it. And you just keep going, you keep hoping that somebody's going to slip up, and you're there to fill the breach.
Is it a situation, John, now where you begin to think about next season, where you know deep down, you know, okay, you've got to look at the positives and you've got to try and win as many games as you can, but you know, deep down, are you thinking, well, okay, we're not going to make it this season, but next season we are? You said to me before it takes 3 seasons to actually get a team. This will be our 3rd season next season, where you start now developing your side for next season.
Yeah. No, I think in this scenario, because it isn't, because the possibility isn't dead yet. You keep going, and you keep hoping to keep, as I say, to keep that possibility alive. I think once the trapdoor shuts, that's when you might start looking at, you know, at cutting for next season, or culling for next season, whatever you want to call it. You know, and maybe bringing some of the youngsters in and giving them a try. So for now, keep going, keep believing, keep hoping. And once it's no longer a mathematical possibility, then we'll address the future then.
Okay, John Ramshaw, thank you very much for your time. I'm sure it's disappointing for you. It's for us as well.
It is.
And we'll be to Weymouth with Poppies TV audio. John, nip off and get your well-deserved glass of is it milk you drink? Or
it is milk, yes. Milk,
yes. Not quite sure there, but we'll see you in the canteen later. I won't say bar.
Another disappointing weekend.